Year 7. Today we are on lesson number 6. That means that we're halfway through term number 1. And since we're halfway through, I'd like to spend a bit of time today just having a recap on some of the things that we've learnt so far, as well as starting a third piece of music. Today, I'd also like to challenge you to get your trombone together by yourself, so without following me. If you need to go back to one of the earlier videos and watch it again, by all means please do, but I think you should be able to get your trombone together by yourself. So pause the video now, find a safe place to open your case, and I'll meet you in a few seconds' time. So hopefully you've got the three parts of the trombone all connected together: the bell, the slide and the mouthpiece. Remember, the bell needs to go to the left side of the slide because it's going to go over your left shoulder. And just to recap, there were a few ways or a few bad habits that that could happen when holding the trombone. So I would like to just go through them and just check that none of them have slipped in for you since the first week when I mentioned them. So one of them was just making sure that our screw, or in the case of the P-bone, is connected nice and tightly. If your trombone starts to fall apart like that, it's really tricky to hold. So remember, we want that square shape, or even a bit closer, like a V shape. That's our number one thing that could be going wrong. Secondly, we could be holding it up with our elbows going high. Thirdly, the most common one is that you've got the bell the wrong way, but hopefully we're used to that by now. And then just think about how you're holding the actual trombone. No fists holding on either section of the trombone. Make sure your thumb is on the first slide here and it's grabbing underneath, and then your other hand is pinching hold of the slide. Good, hopefully we're all doing that by now. If you're unsure, why don't you try holding up your trombone in front of a mirror and having a look at yourself and just checking you're not doing any of those bad habits. So a quick recap on the word embouchure. Remember, that's the shape that we form with our mouth when we're playing our trombones. If we have any French speakers out there, you might recognise that word bouche, which is mouth. I think that's where that word comes from, embouchure. So the points to remember are the corners of our mouths, using those muscles, keeping them nice and firm, and then buzzing our lips together to create that raspberry sound, that. Remember, no hamster faces, no air in your cheeks. All that air is going down at the trombone, and of course, breath is very, very important with all brass instruments, especially the trombone. So buzzing, using our muscles and breathing are the three important things to remember when we're thinking of our embouchure. And lastly, more recently, we started to talk also about using our tongue and creating that two sound. So all those things we should be doing every time we play now, or at least we should be thinking about them. So let's use all that good thought now and have a warm up on our trombones. Today for our warm up, we are going to try and swap between F and B flat, okay, with the mouthpiece in the trombone this lesson. So F and B flat are both in first position, so we don't even have to move our slides to do this. So we're practicing changing pitch. Remember that word from last lesson. Pitch is how high or low the notes are, and F is our higher note. So what I would like you to do, first of all, is try playing your F like we did last lesson and try dropping to the B flat below it, okay? So something like this. Okay, so bring your trombone up to play position and give that a go. Concentrate on blowing that F, and then just see if you keep blowing, if you can relax onto the lower notes. Good. Now let's see if we can use our tongue on both notes. So I want this to be a little bit of an experiment for you. You don't have to do exactly what I do. You can take as long as you need to and just practice changing between with our to sound. So something like this. Okay, so I was just experimenting using that to sound on the F and the newer note B flat. So pause the video again, bring yourself up to play position and have a little experiment tonguing those two notes. Good rest position, Year 7. Hopefully that went well for you. So if F is our highest note so far and B flat is the lowest note that we've learnt so far, that makes D in the middle, okay? And I would like us to try playing our three notes from lowest to highest. So that means starting with our newest note B flat, then move into fourth position for D, and then moving back to first position for F. Okay, so let's bring our trombones up to play position and just say those notes for me. So we have B flat, D, and then F. Okay, so let's have a go. I would like us to do this together. So I will count in a bar, so 4 beats long, and then we will play B flat for 2 beats, D for 2 beats, and F for 2 beats. Give it a go, see what happens. Remember the F, you might think of that birthday cake analogy and blow a little bit faster, like you're trying to reach candles that are on that cake further away. And you could start pretty gently for your B flat. So here we go, play position. Remember 4 counts in, and then 2 counts for each beat. So B flat first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, let's do that a couple more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Last time, make sure you copy me and take a breath on beat 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Rest position. Before we start our new piece, we need to know how to read our newest note, B flat. So have a look at the screen. So we have our stave, we have our bass clef. Now, this is our note, this is our B, and it sits on, or the line goes through the note is going through the second line. So we've had an F on the 4th line, a D on the 3rd line, and now we've got B on the 2nd line. And I mentioned in our previous lesson that you can actually have a note B. So imagine this, what you're seeing here, but without this symbol. Now this symbol is our flat sign. So in music, whenever you see this in front of a note, it means that note is a flat version of itself. And it does coincidentally look quite similar to a B, but it actually has nothing to do with the word B, it just means flat, okay? So I've written up here, B flat. This is our note. So we will be using this in Fanfare quite a bit, so keep your eyes peeled for this new note. Okay, it's time to look at our new piece, Fanfare. So the word fanfare, it's the name of a piece of music which is normally a ceremonial piece of music. So often played, well, always really played on brass instruments, so trumpets and trombones and French horns. And it's normally to announce something, like something important is happening, like a king or queen is entering. And so that's what we're going to play today, a fanfare. First of all, I would like you to have a look at the first two bars, so bar 1 and bar 2, and have a think about what you notice. So hopefully you've clocked that they are exactly the same. They both start with a ma, a silence, for one beat. And then we have a ta, which is the same note, and it's our newest note, B flat. Okay? And then they both finish with a 2 on note F. Okay, so let's say our Kadai rhythm. We'll do both these bars together, okay? So, when you're ready, I will count a bar of 4, and then let's start our Kadai rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, 2, ta, 2. Very good. Nice and straightforward. Though it is quite unusual to have a ma on beat 1. It can sometimes catch us out a bit, so listen out for, or watch out for your ma on beat 1. Okay, so let's say the same rhythm, but this time instead of using the Kadai sounds, we'll use the letter names. So our first one is B flat, and then F. Okay, that's quite a mouthful, B flat, having to say it so quickly, but we should be able to manage. Let's try. Here we go. We'll still say ma on our rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat, F, B flat, F. Good, and I should have kept that first F a little bit longer. I don't know if you noticed, my second one was a bit longer. And that's something that we should think about when we're playing. So, let's grab our trombones. Now, the mime inside of this is interesting for us with this bar because they're both in first position. So we don't have to practice any movement. What we have to practice is what we were doing to warm up, changing between a lower note and a higher note, okay? And making sure that the higher note is nice and long. So I'm going to play the first two bars for you, and then I'd like you to have a go, okay? So the first two bars go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so get yourself in play position and have a go. I will count you in. Here we go. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 2. Ta, 2. Very good. I think we should have another go at that. This time I might play as well. We could do it together. And I want you to try and breathe on your first beat on our ma, because nothing else is happening, so we can use that moment to take a breath, okay? Remember, take a breath through your mouth, not your nose. Play position, let's do the first two bars together. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest position. Okay, there's our first two bars. Let's look at our next two bars. It begins in a similar way with a ma and then a ta on a B flat. Good. I'm hoping that you are jumping in there before me, saying what note it is now. See if you can beat me while I'm speaking. So we've got our ma and our B flat. Have a look at the next two notes. They are the same in pitch and they are the same in rhythm. They're both tas. And they're both Fs. Hopefully you worked that one out. And then our last bar on this first line has one of those really long 4-beat notes, okay? A ta. And have a think, what note do you think that looks like? I want a drum roll. It is D. It's right in the middle. So this is the first point in this piece where we will need to move our slide. Okay? So I should say, unlock your slides. We can do that now because we will be using them. And let's just once say through this rhythm. So say it with me. Our kadai sounds, our tas and our mas, and our ta. Let's give it a go after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Very good. Very long. So, let's say the notes now. Step 2. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat, F, F, D. Good. Hopefully they didn't catch you out those notes. This time we will mime the notes. So bring your trombone up to your chin and get ready for that moment where we move to 4th position, okay? Here we go. Last 2 bars of the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. B, F, F, D. Okay, good. So let's get it wet on your chin. Okay, let's have a go. I will go first and then you will have a go at those 2 bars. I will do the same thing. I'm going to breathe on my ma because we've got to hold that D for 4 beats, okay? That's a long time. We are going to need lots of air. Here I go, and then your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Rest position for me. Play position for you. Make sure that your slide is unlocked. Let's have a go at bars. This is bar 3 and 4. When you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 ta. Very good. Let's do that one more time together. Here we go. See if your D is as long as mine, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good rest position. Okay, so that's halfway through. Well done. Good concentration. It gets a little bit more complicated, this next line. Let's have a look at what's happening in bars 5 and 6. Now I can see some similarities and then some differences. So I can see that the rhythm is ta, two, ta, two. And you say that with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ma, ta, two, ta, two. But the notes, it's almost like a mirror image, isn't it? It starts the first time on, give you time to interrupt me, D and then F. And the next bar is the opposite way around. F and then D. Let's say these notes. Step 2 of our practice routine. Here we go. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, my mouse went. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ma. D, F, Ma, F, D. Okay, let's mime it. So trombones to play position with your mouthpiece to your chin. Unlock your slide. And here we go. I'm going to point to the notes, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. D, F, F, D. Okay. Hopefully that's feeling nice and secure. Let's have a go at playing these. So your F, remember it's our highest note. Use lots of air to sustain that sound, okay? Here we go. I'll go first and then your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, Ma. Okay, your turn. Play position, slide unlocked. After 4, playing these 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, F, F, D. Good. I'd like you to do that one more time. I think that's quite tricky. And I want you to think, keep your 2, your minim, that's the word I said, you could also call it, nice and long. So 2 beats. And also really make sure that you're definitely in your 4th position after the bell. Okay, second time those 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, Ma. D, F, F, D. Good, rest position. 2 bars to go, year 7. This bar here, it is the trickiest. We have all 3 notes in this bar. So far we've only had 2 different notes. Now we have 3. Have a look at them and see if you can work out the order. The good news is the last bar is just B flats, okay? 2, 2, 2. Let's say our rhythm, our kadai. First of all, keep trying to work out those notes as well while we do this. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, 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 2, 2. Okay? And then let's look at these notes very carefully. So the B is actually a little bit easier to spot because of our flat sign, okay? The other 2 don't have that. So hopefully that one is really easy now to spot. The next one is our highest one. So it has to be our F, and then it's going down a note to our D. So B flat, F, D. Let's say that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, Ma, B flat, F, D. Okay, so you should be thinking, I don't have to move my slide until that very last note. Let's mime that moment. The last bar, I don't think we need to mime, we can just play that. So here we go, bar 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, B flat, F, D. And again, 3, 4, B flat, F, D. Good, so you move that slide nice and quick for the D. Let's try and play it. Unlock, well, sorry, your slide probably isn't locked. Let's have a go. 2, 3, 4. Good. And again, without me this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat, F, D. Good. So that bar you might want to practice a few times because it is quite tricky. Let's add the last bar onto that bar, the tricky bar. So ending with 2, 2 on your B flat. Okay? Here we go. We'll try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, ma. Rest position year 7. Good start on that piece today. It has some really tricky moments and we're reading 3 different notes now, so it is a challenge. If you were feeling pretty confident with what we did today, why not challenge yourself to play it all the way through from top to bottom? If not, it is time to pack away. So I will leave you to pack away yourself like I'm going to do, and I will see you for your next lesson soon.